The 2021 DHL National Lifesaving Champs are proudly presented by DHL and Wimpy. Welcome back to the DHL SA Lifesaving Champs from Nelson Mandela Bay. Set on the majestic eastern seaboard overlooking Gqeberha Bay, Gqeberha's ocean is a fickle mistress, harbouring some of the most treacherous waters in Africa. It is this that has bred a certain type of lifeguard down here, and it is this that makes racing here one of the toughest arenas to compete in. In this episode we conclude the seniors arenas from the boat, the beach. We have a look at the pool and our athletes' campaigns for records and to qualify for the Worlds and the African Champs. We conclude the Wimpy surfboat shootout and see who reigns supreme in the seniors on the beach. Juniors also hit the beach and we see a paradigm shift as the Cape Club show that family and unity is sometimes all that it takes. And we look at the future of the sport as the nippers have their moment in the sun. With most of the ocean events out of the way, it was the turn of the speed machines on the beach. First up, the ladies' beach sprint. Former champion Mandy Maritz, having injured herself the week before, was sporting a new accessory, but this didn't seem to slow her down. A very strong Durban surf presence, same as the flags. Started getting them going, a small stumble for Maritz, but just look at the speed and power of this young lady. One arm in a sling, she shoots into an early lead. Halfway down the track, Miss Corbett isn't going to let her have her way. She drops the hammer, but Maritz is fighting back. What strength! It's a dip for the line, Corbett steals it. What a race from these two teammates.
Manny, just tell everybody what you did, because 2 weeks ago you would have been looking forward to SAs and what you do best until
I did SA Champs, cross country champs, mountain biking last weekend. Went over my bars and then I was like, oh, I've got SA Champs next weekend. Lifesaving, and then I was like, make the best of it, and then I'll just do it for fun, support my best friend.
No, she's an awesome competitor, and I always, I don't want to race her like this. I want to race her and beat her in her best form and everything. So thank you so much to SA Lifesaving for putting on this amazing event for us so we can do what we love.
Men's sprints now, and it's the students versus the teacher here. Raoul Mornay looking for retribution from the flags. They're off very quick, and False Bay in with what looks like an early lead, but that doesn't last. Durban surfs to Mornay and Clark. It's still these two now, two totally different styles. Just look at that. Who's it gonna be? De Mornay dips over the line first. He's elated. What a swan song for this former world champion.
well, I don't know how many it is now, but yes, this one looks like as sweet as they ever get.
I definitely think so. I mean, coming back from the most horrific injury ever, thinking I'm going to get into coaching, it's done for me. I've just been blessed enough to be able to feel like I can compete, and being able to take a title against absolute talent like Siobhan over here. Like I said, the next Protea coming on the scene, fastest man that I've ever raced against, to be honest. So these guys are making me work.
There's one event that stands tall over all in lifesaving sport, and that is the Ironman. The requirement here is not only a mastery of all the disciplines, but a supreme fitness that is only found in the sport of lifesaving. A full field here for this one. Swim, board, ski, the order. It's every Ironman for himself as they round the swim cans. first swimmers into the shallows, and look at this, Wade Krieger stands up first. The swim is not his apex event, but he's had the swim of his life out there, and he exits the water first. What a lead! He's onto the board. It'll be hard to catch the national board champion, Jones from Summerstrand and Butler from Kings Beach, with a lot of work to do. Back towards the beach now, and Krieger is unstoppable at this point. It's a done deal unless something dramatic happens. Onto the ski leg, and it's clear that his enjoyment of training has its benefits for sure. Well, nothing less than an unstoppable show of force from Wade Krieger. This is his second individual gold and an almost 20-year gap from his first Ironman title.
Wade, well done. One horse race, but this is the one you want to win, I guess. This is your priority event.
Considering we've had a tough year and a half with COVID, I'm just very grateful to be here, and all the competitors are very grateful to be here. It is one of the premier events in surf lifesaving, challenging to have this competition at this time of year. But nonetheless, I think the first time I won this race is about 20 years ago, so it's not too bad to come away with a win. I feel healthy and I feel strong, and I'm grateful for the event organisers and the sponsors alike. Normally, you would have a string of 9 to follow or to lead ourselves to. But all I did was just the whole time I was just really trying to observe and try and hunt down that can. Eventually I did see it, but I was probably a little too late. But nonetheless, I think the hard part was the coming in, where you really also couldn't tell where you're going. Definitely tough conditions in terms of wind, but nothing we can't handle. I've somehow seemed to be able to stick with it and keep at it. And as I said, I'm just grateful to still be here and try and be a role model to the up and coming guys.
This year's champs, even with all the limitations, would bring out the spirit of unity and camaraderie. The ladies embodied the spirit to the letter, and with such small numbers entered, they just made a plan, and in some cases made up teams. Rescued Tube saw the national teammates joining up for a dry run for their African and World Champs campaign in the future, and although no points counting, they certainly made their point.
Well done, Sash. Talk me through that. I mean, that looked like it went clockwork.
It was amazing. Honestly, the team was pretty much put together this morning, so it was the best we could have asked for. It ran so smoothly. For a team that was put together, it kind of felt like we'd been going together for maybe 1-2 years. So yeah, to Gina, Christina, thank you so much for coming on board this morning.
No, exactly. Working with pros like these, it was so awesome to be involved with them, and yeah, we're going to be cheering them on when they go up to Egypt, and yeah, great experience for us, and we love being able to get more girls in the heat.
The final day of the seniors on the beach saw the conclusion of the Wimpy surfboat shootout. Boat racing may look at face value to be fairly simple. The aim is to row a 250 kilogram fiberglass 8-meter rowing boat out through the surf, turn around the cans and catch a wave back to the shore. The first boat back to the beach wins. Pretty simple, right? If it sounds simple or matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. It takes a special breed of lifesaver to compete in this event, and without teamwork you are quite simply going nowhere fast.
So after 2 days of pretty good competition. Day 3 dawns and Marine A is back. First of all, fill us in on what's happened in the first 2 days.
Well, we had a great first day, everything went right. And then yesterday we made a few silly mistakes. And in this game, the people who make mistakes are the ones who don't finish well. So we had a nice chat last night, just got our minds right around doing everything right. And we did everything right today, and we got our first victory today, so we're quite happy with that.
In the men's division, Marine B took it in the final day with 40 points from the 9 races. Blue Water Bay was second with 36 points, and Marine A a close third with 35.
So a fantastic way for the whole series of 3 days to come to an end. Just talk me through that final race.
Oh, it was amazing. To be honest, it's never been head-to-head like that. Normally there's one crew that dominates the sport. But this whole 3-day event, it's been fantastic. In the last race, stress really proved what we were about. Eh? We came through, we worked hard from that buoy all the way back.
What are the ingredients for a success in a boat?
A bit of humour, obviously fitness takes a bit of improvement, and also it's a big part of our rowing, but also technique and a bit of spirit. That's what those last 2 or 20 metres is about.
Now you've beaten your club mates for a start. I mean, you've had 2 strong marine boats. Do you share the gold? Do you share the money?
To be honest with you, it's all a group sport. We don't refer to ourselves A and B. We get down in the water, and it's going to probably go back into building the sport. To be honest with you, we've been growing over the past year. We look at the 10-15 year goal, getting guys amped for it and really getting into the sport. It's a beautiful sport, and we want people to know about it.
The ladies' boat crews would finish the boaties competition off. But don't be fooled by this title, ladies' boaties. These girls are tough and these girls are fierce. The Marine A crew was simply dominant, taking first in every race to this point.
So here they are, the champions of 2021, and making a little bit slice of history as well. Another flawless race.
Thank you, yeah. We said we were going to leave it all out there in the ocean today, and we did that. We're lucky to have a nice, easy way out. But you'd have to work hard on the way back. Yeah.
A little slice of South African life-saving history being made right here.
Yes, definitely. The first ladies crew to be at champs, and actually the first ladies cruise, the 3 of us in the history of the sport.
Yeah. And you were chalk and cheese above everybody else, which must feel really cool. I mean, those early hours, the long training.
It did, yeah. We've trained consistently. We've been tight. I think before Enterprise at the beginning of the year, we were together 2 weeks before we competed, and this week we had a whole year now to get tight as a crew. And we've been feeling tight and really good coming up to the champs. So yeah, super excited.
Getting an objective opinion here, what is special about this crew of girls?
Oh, these girls are amazing. They each have a spark in them that only they can create. They train hard, they're dedicated, they're at the beach before me. And sometimes, I think that they're stronger than me, but they just pull together and they unite. And whatever's thrown at them, they're not scared to hit back and fight through the ocean and the waves.
What a way to cap off the seniors racing on the beach for the 2021 champs. A fine display of teamwork and certainly showcasing that the sport of life-saving is rebuilding one boat at a time. Individually, Durban Surf's athletes produced some of the biggest wins, both in the surf and on the beach, with the club's Wade Krieger sharing the senior surf athlete of the tournament with Kings Beach Keegan Cook. Amika de Jager won the senior female surf athlete of the championship award, showing that even with a limited showing, this club is always a force to be reckoned with. Clifton's seniors bossed the open division in the overall surf events, and their juniors were just as good in flying the Cape Town flag, something usually reserved for fishhook at the Nationals. In 2021, there was no stopping Clifton, however, whose teamwork aligned beautifully with individual brilliance in both the open and junior competitions. The secret to their success? family values, and a plan to build a club of great people.
Clifton's always had a proud history of competing well at national championships. It really started about 3 years ago, but we never quite put it together to challenge for overall surf aggregate. There have been a couple of third places, a number of second places in nippers, juniors, seniors over the years. But funnily enough, we put a 3-year plan together, and when we thought about how we wanted to do this, we didn't say that we wanted to do it to be the best club. We decided we wanted to be a club of great people. And we came up with some values and some ideas. Number one, family, leadership, respect. We decided to look after each other first as a family, help each other as people, grow lifeguards, grow kids to be better versions of themselves, whether they are a competitor or not a competitor. Everything is based upon a team environment and an encouraging environment. And a byproduct of that is this weekend. We genuinely knew that we had a chance to do well, but our focus was to get as many people here having fun in the sun, having a joy and learning how to be better lifeguards. And as a byproduct of that, yes, we won seniors for the first time in our club's history in 65 years. And we were leading juniors overnight for the first time in the club's history. So we're incredibly proud.
Clifton's Jodie Cleworth was a standout, taking multiple titles with her tenacity, conditioning and versatility, getting her 1 point ahead of her closest rival, Mhlanga Rocks' Tatum Botha. Clifton's 17-year-old teenage duo of Nao Lombard and Holly Cleworth were excellent in the surf champs, and their performances would leapfrog Clifton to the front of the points as they left the beach.
I don't know when last the double was done for juniors and seniors by a club, so we're incredibly proud, but also incredibly thankful to LSA for just allowing us to compete again. And like with many clubs, COVID has been tough, but we also used it as an opportunity. We took a decision as a club to use it to get better. We decided that COVID's not going to define us, it's actually going to be something that we're going to use to improve. And we did online training courses, online fitness sessions. We tried to keep everyone as motivated as possible. A lot of members went through tough times. We did fundraising to support them so they could put food on the table. And we looked at being a family, not just a life-saving club. And I think a bit of a long answer, but that's what it's about.
It was a case of the old and the new flourishing in the pool at the DHL Lifesaving South African National Champs at Newton Park in Gqeberha, with veteran Tix Johan Lawrence superb and teenager Willem Basson equally impressive. Lawrence is just 25 years old, but in the competitive sport of lifesaving, that means that he's been around for more than a decade. He is Team South Africa's top pool specialist and will lead the charge in the African Games in Egypt from the 1st to the 5th of December. Lawrence is also expecting to feature prominently at the World Games in Birmingham in England in 2022, and he's already qualified for the Games in the 100 meters mannequin with fins.
It's a 2-year process. After we found out our nationals got cancelled, moving into PE 2020, all plans had to change. Everyone has to adapt. Can't play a victim of the scenarios. So grateful to actually have a nationals, although it's end of the year for this year. Lifesaving teaches to adapt to different circumstances. Like I said, plans had to change, approaches had to change a little bit, schedules in the beginning, trying to actually get pool space to be able to train, and then being grateful to actually have a competition again, getting some racing going, racing the best in the country, leading up to a World Games to race the best in the world and potentially medal. Team aspect is so important, having a good base team dynamics, people training with, it all comes down to that. Actually having people in training you can push yourself with, racing each other and really helping each other reach the end goal. Well, Newton Park swimming pool, 100% world-class pool, especially with the newly added blocks. This national has been going great, some good times from juniors all the way through to seniors. Truly grateful to have a pool like this in our country where we can actually put up some world-class times, having the facilities to do so. This race, obviously one we've been focusing on a lot, 100 mannequin with fins, super important to go out fast, work that first 50 underwater, having good techniques on the turn, bring up that mannequin with some speed and power, utilizing that speed you've generated that whole 50, and then keeping that speed up, that tempo up all the way through to the 50 for the end time.
At the prelims, when I swam the times, from there I've been motivated ever since, just to get this real race. And at the finals, I prepared myself extremely long, like for 3 hours, preparing, focusing, studying everything I need to do. And when I was on a block, I was just ready, and I knew something is going to happen good. I dive in the water and just a rush of energy, emotions, everything of that just goes through my head. But I try and stay focused all the way till the end.
Actually quite special doing those times. We are in a tough situation where we actually don't even know the actual times posted because the rest of the world still has to race. So at this moment it's wonderful just to have qualified. So we're truly grateful for that. We'll wait what the end result is. Other competitions you have a set time, you qualify, you know you're going. So there's a little bit of uncertainty, but it's wonderful to actually have a goal in mind and achieve it and yeah, actually get it done.
The Lifesaving family is certainly on the grow, and with Nippers, it's all about fun. It's all about learning valuable skills, creating the building blocks for the future, and it's about family. The Nippers movement is gaining huge momentum in the sport of lifesaving, with clubs having a big drive to grow the sport from the ground up. Although numbers were limited and attendance down, it didn't dampen the spirits, and there was a fantastic vibe on the beach for this year's event. We took time to visit the clubs who have made the trip to Nelson Mandela Bay to find out a bit more.
The Bishop team has just arrived! Don't mess with the best, don't mess, don't fool, don't cool, don't cool, don't cool.
Why Nippers?
Totally family orientated sport. It's certainly the best sport in the world.
Kids are learning the swims, they're learning how to interact with everybody.
It breeds the toughest kids.
Die kleintjies is mal oor die see. About the ocean, about water safety.
I mean, we are a family.
It's a culture of family, of support.
This is the easiest way to get them safe in the water.
Number one is fun.
Fun in the sun type of movement.
It's all about the fun.
Journey down the beach and just finding out what makes their club tick. If I had to come down here on a Sunday morning, what am I going to see?
We've got a strong Nipper program of about 70-80 kids through our age groups.
Consistent round about the 50-60 mark.
Coming down here, you're going to get a hell of a friendly environment. You know, you're going to get very much welcome.
But the Nippers which are coming through now, obviously they're all very keen, they're very excited, they've enjoyed their Nipper career, and they're definitely going to carry on juniors.
Let's go!
Look, Nippers for me is the building blocks for our future in lifesaving. We've got these members moving through, we've got young kids like this looking for inspiration from the big kids. We've got a crew of about 100 Nippers that come down every Sunday, very dedicated coaches, lovely atmosphere. We're a family, and it's all, not just German Surf, not Rocks, not Strand, not London. We're a complete family. So going forward, if we can keep on striving to build as a family and a community, we're always going to do positive things.
Boom.
Well, after 8 days of life-saving action here in Gqeberha, we've seen the big guns, the seniors, show us how it's done at the top level. We've seen the excitement of the junior age groups, and we've seen a renaissance in the boats arena, with history being made with the women's crew on the water for the first time. And we saw the nippers with all that geest, the camaraderie, and we learnt that the sport has its root here in those nippers, and that this movement is certainly alive and well, and the future looks bright. The 2021 DHL National Life-Saving Champs are proudly presented by DHL and Wimpy.